Have a nice dream.
Hi, I'm Neil Beck. I was a Perth doctor for 53 years and had 500,000 consultations, home and hospital visits, and found that the most important part of health was mental health. There are no perfect mums or perfect dads or perfect families, homes, streets, communities or schools, so all children have some suffering, and that causes some mental health problems, mild, moderate or severe. And one of the most important things for anyone to do is to find and fix their mental health problems, because mental health is the most important thing in anybody's life. In a developed country, there's plenty of most things, and if you are mentally healthy, sooner or later you'll get the things that you need. But if you are mentally unhealthy, you may never get some of the most important things that you need. So the 7 most important things in life are, first of all, mental health. Secondly, enough good relationships. Thirdly, high endorphins. Endorphins are morphine-type chemicals we produce in our brain and glands that relieve pain and distress. The 4th most important thing is our immune system. Our immune system is cells and antibodies and chemicals in every part of us that fight infections, allergies, inflammation, autoimmune diseases and cancers. And our immune system is mainly managed by our endorphins chemistry. The 5th important thing is a good home. One of the biggest differences between a good life and a bad life is having a good home or having a bad home. And the 6th most important thing is having a good education, which of course depends a lot on mental health. And the 7th most important thing is having a good job, which of course depends on a good education and good mental health. Sadly, what I found was that there was a terrible problem in that there was never going to be enough mental health carers to help all the people who needed help with their mental health. And I eventually discovered that the reason for that was that the mental health tools that mental health workers work with were weak. There were only 2 tools and they both had great weaknesses. Everything we do today, we do with tools. Our tools when I was a boy were pretty primitive: a hammer and a chisel and a brazen bit and a saw. But now our tools are very sophisticated, and everything we do quicker, better, cheaper, because we've got good tools. Now, if there isn't a good tool, someone will make a good tool, or if the tool's not good enough, someone will make a better tool. So tools are so important. But sadly, in mental health and addiction, the main two tools, medicines and talk therapy, both have great weaknesses. Medicines have got two problems. Firstly, many of them are addictive. Nearly all the anxiety, worry, tranquilizing type medicines and the sleeper type medicines and the three main ADD, ADHD medicines are all addictive, and that creates terrible problems. And secondly, the medicines mostly work too slowly. They're mostly tablets and capsules, and when you swallow a tablet or a capsule, it takes an hour, half an hour to an hour to go right down your gut and start to be absorbed into your bloodstream and start to give you relief. Half an hour to an hour to start to give relief, and 1 to 2 hours to give strong relief, which is just too slow for many things, for many kinds of mental suffering like anxiety or sleep disorders or irritability, anger disorder, or post-traumatic stress disorder. And so the second weakness of medicines is they're mostly too slow. You want them to work as fast as possible, but most of them are slow because they're tablets or capsules which are gut absorbed, which is a slow business. The other main tool is talk therapy. That's counseling, psychotherapy, CBT, talking to the healthcare professional, talking to the person who needs help. But that has two problems. The first is it's very slow. It takes a long time to find all the problems a person has got, because there's never just one problem, there's always multiple problems. And because it's slow, often only the worst problems are touched on, and there are problems which are quite significant that don't get discovered or treated. So the person never gets completely better because they've still got problems. And the second weakness of talk therapy is it's very costly. To be a therapist, you need a long training. You need to have at least a 4-year Bachelor of Psychology from a university, or even a longer Master's in Psychology or PhD. And to be a psychiatrist takes 10 or 12 years. And people who are smart enough to do those long courses must be paid well, or nobody will become a mental health care worker. So talk therapy is slow and it's costly. And there are other problems with mental health that relate to what I call blind areas. There are 10 main blind areas in mental health. The first is a shocker. It's that mental health, which is the most important thing in your life, does not get taught in school. There's no school education in mental health, and that should be the most important thing that a child learns, is about mental health. Secondly, we usually don't recognize that mental health problems are nearly always family problems. Mental health problems usually come to us from our family, and yet we treat people as if they are on their own, but they're not on their own. And if their family mental health problems continue, it's very hard for them to get better. So not helping with the family situation is a blind area. The third blind area is not finding causes. It's very important to find causes of mental health problems, because when you know the mental health causes, it's much easier to help people get better. And when they get better, it's much easier for them to avoid relapsing, because if they get better but they've still got the cause, then they're likely to relapse. The fourth blind area is that mental health problems should be treated as emergencies, and they're not usually treated as emergencies. And that's because problems cause problems that cause more problems, and it all gets more complicated and difficult the longer it goes on. The best time to fix any mental health problem is when it first starts. So when someone first starts to have a mental health problem or to have an addiction problem, that's the easiest and the best time to fix it. And so those problems should be treated as emergencies. A fifth blind area is that 60 to 65% of our life is habits. And good mental health is mainly about having good mental health habits. Bad mental health is mainly about having bad mental health habits. And yet we don't seem to teach people how to make new good habits and how to break bad old habits. So our brain is so busy that it can't do everything consciously. Most of what our life has to be automatic and unconscious. 60 to 65% of us has to be automatic and unconscious and a habit. And because our life changes and the world changes, we need to change our habits. We need to be able to we need to know how to make new habits, and we need to know how to break old habits that have become a problem. But changing of habits just doesn't seem to be happening in mental health care. It's a blind area. Another blind area is transgenerational trauma. If someone has something very bad happen to them, they have a very severe illness or accident or social problem or business problem or financial problem or some serious problem, it can affect their children and their grandchildren and even some of their great-grandchildren. So if you've got a mental health or an addiction problem and you can't work out what caused it, it may be that if you go back into your parents and grandparents and great-grandparents' lives, you'll find that you got that problem because it was passed down to you from one of the previous 3 generations. Another blind area is that we seem to be more focused on telling people what their diagnosis is than on telling them what they want and need to have a better life. So it's important to know if you've got ADD, ADHD, but what's even more important to know is that if you've got ADD or ADHD, you need to learn to focus and concentrate better, and you need to learn to be less impulsive so that you make better decisions. If you just tell someone that they've got ADD, ADHD, that may help them, but it may be a burden to them. They may take it as meaning that there's not much hope for them. But what you really need to do, what we really need to do, is to teach them what they want and need to have a better life. Another blind area is that people aren't taught self-help enough. If there's not enough people to help you, you have to learn to help yourself more. And I believe that at least half the mental health help should be self-help. Some people can't do very much self-help. They've got big problems and they're not very capable, but some people can do most of their own help as self-help, and we should encourage people by teaching them how to help themselves. Another blind area is that we tend to focus on blaming someone, and this is hardly ever helpful. It's usually unhelpful, because if people think if they tell you what happened, what caused the problem, you're going to blame them, they're not honest with you. They don't tell you the exact facts, and what you need to know is to know exactly what happened and why it happened. And it was nearly always not one person that caused the problem. If a person was a problem, it was because someone was a problem for them, and that person had someone who was a problem for them. Individual people are rarely solely to blame for mental health problems. So the blame game is a very unhelpful thing in mental health. And the 10th blind area in mental health that I found is that sometimes unhelpful loyalty to the family causes people to stay troubled. They think that they are troubled and they should stay troubled because they're from a troubled family, and members of their family are troubled, and they should stay with them, and they wouldn't feel comfortable if they were a lot happier or a lot better off, had a lot better home, a lot better job than other members of the family. But everybody should be healthy and happy. So get as healthy and as happy as quickly as you can, but be loyal to your family by passing on to them, sharing with them everything that you find that helps you. So the conclusion I came to many years ago was that the most important thing was for me to try to develop new tools that were more helpful for people with mental health problems. And over a period of 22 years, I've developed 10 tools. One of the early tools was videos. There's no faster, better, more convenient, lower cost way to understand a mental health problem than to watch a 1-minute video on it. My first video about 15 years ago was 10 minutes, and it got 10,000 viewings in 9 months, and that was very good. So I did another 30 longer videos, but people stopped looking at longer videos, and then I discovered that they basically want to watch, most people basically want to watch 1-minute TikTok type videos. So now I've got 83 under a minute videos at smilefixit.com, smilefixit.com, which is my website, because another tool was websites. People need to have a website they can go to find information. I had the website mentalhealthvideos.com, which was about 14 pages, but people wanted a shorter one, so I then made the smilefixit.com website, which is a page and a half, and has got links that you can tap on to whatever you're interested in. The third tool is an app. Because talk therapy was so slow, we didn't have time to do it, and often you overlook things and miss things. I developed a 20-question checklist which covered most things, and one of my assistants would see the troubled person first and do the checklist, and that enabled me to see a lot more and help a lot more people, because there were so many people that needed help and not enough helpers. But checklists are somewhat slow and cumbersome. A lot better than nothing, but then we realized that apps were the way to go. And about 18 months ago we developed our Mental Fix-It app. The Mental Fix-It app, you can go to the App Store or Google Play on your phone and tap the button, and in a few seconds download the free Mental Fix-It app. And then in a few minutes you can tap your choice of answers to each of the questions in the app and get an instant report. And the instant report tells you 4 things that you really helpful. Firstly, it tells you which 6 of our 83 under a minute videos will help your particular problems most, because different people have different problems. And the problem with a big book about mental health is it's got so much information in it that is not related to your case. You need to know everything that's a problem in your case and have information about those problems, so you haven't got time to know all about everybody else's problems. So the app, the Mental Fix-It app, helps you to find in a few minutes to know which 6 of our 83 under a minute videos will help you most with your particular problems. It also tells you which medicines are most likely to be helpful for your particular problems. It also gives you a list of all the things that you've tapped as a problem. The big ones, the moderate ones, and the small ones. You need to know everything to get completely better. You need to fix everything, and to fix everything you need to know everything. But with consultation, so often you only know about the main big 2 or maybe 3, and you don't come to grips with some of the smaller ones. So so an app was the third tool. The fourth tool is live streaming, which is what I'm doing now, because what we found was that many people love to watch live streaming, and TikTok has only been started 9 years ago, but there's over 1 billion viewers visit TikTok every month. Over 1 billion viewers visit TikTok every month because they love live streaming and they love scrolling. So now I do live streaming at present on Wednesday, Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Perth time, and Sunday at 9 a.m. Perth time. I do the 9 a.m. Sunday because 7 p.m. Perth time is 7 a.m. New York time and 4 a.m. LA time, so very unhelpful for people in the Northern Hemisphere, but 9 a.m. on Sunday is a better time for the Northern Hemisphere, where about 1/3 of our viewers come from. The 5th tool is powder medicine. Why powder medicine? powder medicine, because not everybody needs medicine, but a lot of people are helped by medicine, especially at the beginning when things are pretty bad. But so many medicines are addictive and too slow. Swallowed tablets and capsules take half an hour to an hour to start to work and 1 to 2 hours to work strongly. But if you drop powder medicine on your tongue and suck it, don't swallow it, it gets into the blood vessels in your tongue in 5 minutes and starts to work in 5 minutes and is working strongly in 10 to 15 minutes, which is much better if you're trying to ward off panic attacks or social phobia or PTSD. You want the medicines to work fast, and powder medicine works far faster. Your tongue is red or pink because the blood vessels and the blood is so close to the surface, and if you drop thousands of tiny grains of powder medicine on your tongue and suck it, it gets into those blood vessels and then to your brain or wherever it's needed quickly. And it's even better than that, because soon your body connects the taste of the medicine with the effect, and then the medicine starts to work as soon as you taste it. As soon as you drop the powder on your tongue and it reaches your taste buds at the back of your tongue, it starts to work in seconds. The sixth tool is pocket dispensers, pocket powder medicine dispensers, because having powder medicine in a jar with a scoop is a bit awkward and sometimes not very accurate. But if you have the powder in medicine that you need in your pocket in a dispenser, you can whiz it out anytime, anywhere, and drop powder on your tongue. Even driving the car, you can whiz it out of your pocket and drop it on your tongue if you start to feel anxiety or start to feel angry or start to feel PTSD or whatever. So pocket powder dispensers make getting medicine help much faster, much better. The seventh tool is a heartbeat meditation aid. Meditation is so valuable for people with mental health and addiction problems, but the people who have got the worst problems often can't learn to meditate. It's a habit that you develop by doing it over and over again, but the usual methods of focusing on your breathing or on repeating a word so you stop thinking about your problems and have a rest from your problems, it doesn't work very well. But with a heartbeat meditation aid, which is just a shortened doctor's stethoscope, that's the hearing part. You can just listen to your heart, and your heart beats loudly and strongly, and is very interesting, and it's a much better way to learn to stop thinking about all your troubles and to have a rest and a break and relax and rejuvenate. The eighth tool is another powder dispenser, but it's a bigger dispenser and it dispenses fruit powder. The powder medicine dispenser only gives you 0.2 of a mil of medicine, which is not enough to get a good taste. You need about a mil, and the bigger dispensers will give you a mil, so you can put any powder you like in one of these dispensers, and whenever you want to avoid having chocolate or lollies or cakes or biscuits or stuff with sugar in, because of the obesity and diabetes epidemic, you just have a lovely taste of fruit powder instead. And fruit powder is a very natural thing which humans have had for thousands of years. Well, not powder, but they've had fruit, and powder is just a more convenient way to get it. So yeah, that's our eighth tool, which you carry everywhere you go. And if you want to make a new habit, every time you think about it or do it, you have a lovely taste of fruit powder, and that encourages you to do it more often, and then it becomes a habit more quickly, a stronger habit. Or if you want to break a habit, every time you think about doing the thing you need to stop doing, you have a lovely taste of fruit powder, and you focus on the lovely taste instead of on the thing you're trying to avoid doing, and you delay doing it, and then you have another taste and delay doing it further, and the longer you delay it, the weaker the underlying triggers and electrical and chemical messages get, so the easier it is to break the bad habit. The 10th tool is something a little bit different that does the same thing, and I call it phone treasure. Phone treasure is having lovely things on your phone which you've got in your pocket at all times, and whenever you want to make a habit or break a habit, or avoid something, or encourage something, you look at something lovely on your phone, your grandchildren or your children or your garden flowers or your new car or your girlfriend or a beautiful river or mountain or whatever, something you look at as beautiful, or you listen to something that you love, and that helps you to make and break habits. And the 10th tool I call Scroll Plus. It took me longer than it should to realize how important scrolling is to so many people. People just love scrolling. I did ChatGPT search, and it said that people love scrolling because it boosts their mood. They feel happier, and it triggers their imagination and their creativity, and it's addictive. So then I realized we have to put our mental health and addiction stuff into scrollable form. The advantage of scrolling is you can race through so much in a short time, and you find everything. For instance, as a medical student with a 1,200-page book on medicine, I never found transgenerational trauma until I was in my 80s. But anybody who looks at my work today will find transgenerational trauma the first time they do it. So scrolling takes you through so many things, and you quickly find what's relevant for you. But the disadvantage of scrolling, and the reason why you go so fast, is there's no detail, and you do want detail about things, but just the things that are important to you. So what we do is that there are 89 scrollable items, that's wants, needs and solutions for mental health problems and addictions, and you can scroll through those titles very quickly, and every time you find one you can tap on it and see a 6 to 16 second video that gives you immediate detail. Not a lot of detail, but enough detail to be helpful. And then if that 6 to 16 second video is helpful for you, then the system gives you a link to a 1-minute video which gives you more help. And if that's helpful, then you can do the Mental Fix-It app, and that gives you the 6 videos that will help you most. So Scroll Plus is our number 10 item. I've finished doing my part, but my technician guy has not yet got it up online, but it'll be online fairly soon, and you'll be able to scroll through 89 items, find the items, might be 5, might be 6, might be 8, might be 10, that are important for you, and for each one that's important you can tap on a very short video and get immediate information that tells you whether that really is something that's important for you, and if it is, then you can get more information by looking at 1-minute videos. Well, I'm so busy at the moment that I have to stop now, but it's Friday, so I'll be back tomorrow night, Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Perth time. If you have any comments, questions, or criticisms, please send them to me through the platform that you're watching the videos on. That's TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram or Facebook. Or you can email me. I always respond to emails and respond to the items that comments, questions and criticisms either later tonight or tomorrow morning. The email address is healthystuff@gmail.com, healthystuff@gmail.com, and you can find that email address at smilefixit.com, smilefixit.com. Thank you for watching. Bye.